Hi, welcome to the Ellis Talker Show. I'm DV LeBron, and today I have a very special guest, Sheriff Brad Norman. How you doing?
Good. Glad to be
Thank
here.
you so much for doing this interview. I wanted to provide the people of Ellis County a update on what's going on with crime. I did speak about a year ago with our district attorney, um, and she kind of gave me, Miss Ann Montgomery gave me kind of a rundown of the things that were happening then. You see a guy shooting a guy for a parking spot. And I know that's city, but it happens in your county.
Yeah,
And
that was something that happened just recently,
yeah,
actually.
you have
right here close to downtown.
people vandalizing the cemetery. There's been reports of break-ins. I want to cover those things. But first, there's a lot of people that have moved here, if you haven't noticed.
Absolutely.
So I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself, little quick bio on you to the
Sure.
people of Ellis County.
Well, my name is Brad Norman. I've been in law enforcement over 25 years now, here in Ellis County since 1999, and worked for a short time at Midlothian Police Department, and then came over to the Sheriff's Office in 2001, and been here ever since, except for a few years when my predecessor was in office here. I had left and gone to work for Methodist Hospital Police Department as a lieutenant for them. Ran for sheriff in 2020 and took office January 2021. So been in office here for about a year, almost a year and a half now, getting close to it. This is home. This is where I feel like I'm supposed to be. And we've got a great group of men and women that adhere at the sheriff's office, both in detention and as deputies, and our civilian staff that do a phenomenal job. So I'm tickled to death to be here.
And I remember that you were running and against the former sheriff Chuck Edge, and you came in and I did actually see you at Methodist one time when you were in your ride doing that patrol.
Yeah.
So as far as in your last year, what are some of the things that you've had to kind of deal with, change, or direct your attention to?
Our biggest changes and things that we're working on is being able to be ready for the growth that's here and more growth that's coming. I was talking earlier today. Tier 2 passed here several years ago, and that prevents forced annexation from happening. And because of Tier 2, Ellis County is never going to look like Dallas County, where the majority of all the county is in city limits. The areas that are not in the city limits now will continue to not be in a city limit. So that creates a different set of circumstances for the sheriff's office. We're going to continue to need to grow over the years to have enough personnel and enough staff and enough deputies on the street, enough detention officers in our jail to be able to keep up with the growth and to be able to keep up with the demands and the things that we need to serve our citizens.
What would you say is the most pressing need right now for you?
Right this minute, it's going to be detention officers. We just got 4 new positions April 1st in our budget for deputies, and we just had a test on the 30th of April, and we're in the process of going through those backgrounds now. We don't lose deputies very often. Most of our deputies have been here for a while and want to stay here. But the biggest need we have right now at the sheriff's office is detention staff. And I think you can understand that a little bit from your background. But right now we've got probably close to 20 positions open. I've got 129 detention spots in the agency. So right now that's our biggest deal. And if you know anybody that's looking for a job, 19 years of age, no criminal history, and either a GED or a high school diploma, send them our way. EllisCountySheriff.com. They can go in there, go to employment opportunities and fill out an application online. But we hold those tests regularly, and we pay pretty good. I mean, right now, I think our starting pay for those positions is $44,100 a year. That ain't bad for somebody right out of high school or first year of college or whatever. That's not a bad with government benefits. The holidays, the days off. Our folks work 12-hour shifts, so you're off every other weekend. those kind of things are appealing to some folks. We just need to get them in here.
Help the sheriff out if you know somebody that would like to, or if you're interested, come on down, apply, and it's a great career. It's done well. I definitely it takes a certain kind of person, but try out, see if you got it, and give it a chance to help your community. So there's been some crimes that have been happening. What are the crimes you're seeing upticks in? Because they talk on the news, they're saying crime waves, crime crisis. Those words are being used. Crime going up, murders going up everywhere. What's happening to this county?
We haven't seen a big rise in homicides and things like that. We still get several every year, but that's the same. That's been going on. It's been pretty steady for a number of years now. Probably the biggest thing right now is construction thefts. We've got so many new houses being built in the county now, all over the county, not just the west side, the east side, all over this whole county. There's new houses, new neighborhoods being built, and construction thefts are a big deal. We're working with builders now. We're working with homeowners associations and stuff like that to try to keep our presence when we're out on patrol. But also, if you see something, you see these people normally get off work at whatever time. These house builders, these framers, these painters, whatever, they get off work, they're done. If you see them vans and cars or stuff pulling up at a house after hours, in the evening or at night, especially, call us. We've caught plenty of them, and we're not going to stop. But that's our biggest issue right now.
Not the non-emergency line or the.
Yeah, no. If you see suspicious activity and you need a deputy there, I mean, if it's an emergency, call 911. If not, our non-emergency line's 937-6060. But no, call us, and I'd rather you. It goes back to the same deal. If you see something, say something. Same thing. If you see something out there that doesn't look right, it's probably not right. And we'd much rather come out and find out it's the contracted painter that works for the builder that's supposed to be there than come find out that it's a thief out there trying to steal stuff and people's property and these construction materials and that. You've been to Home Depot lately. Mm-hmm. You see what construction materials are right now.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I saw a deal the other day. It was a picture of a wagon with some 2x4s in it and said something about my inheritance. What I'm saying, that kind of thing. It's ridiculous what building materials cost right now. But thieves know that too. They're gonna get it when they can. So we can use your help in that respect. Something doesn't look right, it's probably not. We'd rather you call and it not be anything than it be something and you not call.
One of those crimes that come up all the time lately is about catalytic converters getting stolen.
And we've had some of those, not a ton. Again, the BMVs and the catalytic converters thefts and stuff like that, we see more of that in the cities just because that's where parking lots and malls or shopping centers and whatnot. And that's where a lot of that stuff occurs. But we have had some. Yeah, there's definitely some folks. We just put on a press release out today about a porch bandit been stealing packages off people's porch. You normally see that around Christmas time, or whatever, Amazon packages and what. This guy's been doing it for a long time, and he's in jail right now. Well, I think he's already bonded out, but he was put in jail, and so yeah, we still get some of those, and of course. Drugs. I mean, that hasn't changed.
Let's talk about that. What are the major drug issues here?
Same as they've always been. Methamphetamine probably is one of the higher ones. Heroin has made a huge impact. It's been popular in the big cities, but we haven't seen it as much down here until recent years. But we're seeing a lot more heroin now than we ever used to. And then, of course, the stuff with the fentanyl laced and fentanyl is the scariest thing because it's the most potentially dangerous to our staff and our deputies.
Your staff, your deputies, and to the kids of Ellis County.
Absolutely,
because they're taking, like, there was a news report about some college kids that they took what they thought was Adderall, but it was laced with fentanyl and it killed them, all three of them.
Yep. And we've had some of those. I mean, we absolutely have. I'm not going to tell you we haven't.
How as far as what you've ran into with that problem, is it steadily increasing your bust? Are you focusing more on it, or?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a dedicated narcotics unit here in Ellis County. They work all over the county. They work with several of the other agencies within the county and work very well together. But no, absolutely, we're anything we can do to try to keep drugs from kids. Drugs, period, but especially from our kids, we're all about that. We get reports of those kinds of offenses, and it's all hands on deck as quick as we can to try to keep that from happening. But no, we of course you're always going to deal with the marijuana and stuff like that. And cocaine's still around, crack cocaine's still around, but definitely meth and heroin are the two biggest concerns that we have right now.
And they're two very ugly. They rob you of your life,
Yep.
Especially heroin. That robs people's lives.
Yep.
I've seen the effects of it. It's horrible. I don't recommend anybody try that.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier. My background's in narcotics. I spent a lot of years working undercover. I ran our narcotics unit here for a number of years, and then was at DEA. I was a Ellis County deputy assigned to DEA's HIDA task force for about 6 years, and so that's something that's near and dear to my heart. I mean, anything I can do to get people off of drugs and get those traffickers in our jails and our prisons, I'm all about.
You were undercover. So Sheriff told me he used to be like Billy Idol out there out there with.
I wouldn't quite go that far.
But he was. I was trying to picture what he would be undercover. So
it's more the biker look back then.
Biker look, 10-4. That's a lot tougher than Billy Idol. But
no.
Sorry about that. I had to go there. So that's the major drugs that you're dealing with. Anything else you're seeing an uptick in?
I'd have to go look at the stats, but we get a lot of sexual cases, sexual assault, child sexual cases, and the DA's office and our courts have been trying to get with COVID. Not an issue now with our courts. They're trying to move a lot of those cases through. We've got a couple of those trials coming up here in the next few weeks that they're picking juries for right now. So I think that's that.
Or child molestation. What are you kind of seeing? Is it more the child molesting? Is it just all encompassing?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, that's probably a negative, and I haven't seen statistics to correlate that, but that's probably, unfortunately, the rise in that's probably somewhat COVID related as well. When you got people, stuck in the house and they're not going out or not doing things or whatever, they're not out in the community as much. People that would do those types of things would seize that kind of opportunity. We work real closely with the Child Advocacy Center here. They do great people. Phenomenal job at what they do. We couldn't do our job without their help. They do a phenomenal job. Leslie Dean's the director over there. She does a great job. But we work with those folks all the time.
And I recommend you see my interview with Miss Dean. I did the Ellis County Child Advocacy. I had them on, and she talked about their mission, what they do, some of the benefits. So if you're in that kind of danger or you just want to know more about them, go ahead and look on the Ellis Talker Facebook page and look for that interview. It was real good.
I'm actually on her board. I'm on the board of directors there for the Advocacy Center. Wow. They've got a fantastic mission and do a fabulous job at what they do.
Kind of in the line of what we're talking about right now, sex trafficking. It has become a major issue in the United States, and just about everywhere. But the United States has seen quite an uptick.
Yep.
What have you found here in Ellis County?
We have proactively gone after the folks that targeted our children, specifically the online solicitation and that kind of thing. Where they meet these kids in a chat room or online somehow, one of the different places, and try to come to them to have sex with them or whatever. These underage kids, and We've done several of those operations. We will continue to do those operations. We do those in conjunction with Waxahachie Police Department, Midlothian Police Department, the DA's office, and the Child Advocacy Center. All were involved in that last operation that we did, and we'll continue to do that. We actually, in conjunction with the Child Advocacy Center, we did an application for a federal grant through Department of Homeland Security for sex trafficking task force here. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. We found out it went to those monies for that task force that we had applied for ended up going to much larger cities with different a lot bigger than what we are here. But that's not going to curtail us from proactively doing those types of investigations.
I would love to be a flying wall when you do one of those.
Well,
I really would.
Give me a holler. We'll see what we can work out.
I would love to. That is something that it's abhorrent. I seen in my time in the military, and being in all those different countries, I seen that firsthand, and it's horrible.
We will actively target any person, regardless of sex, race, color, creed, anything that target our children. Period. You have that commitment for me, and we're not going to stop. Absolutely, that's our future. Our children, that is our future. Mm-hmm. And if we don't take care of our children, then what are we as a society? I mean, it's just
exactly.
It's a very very passionate area that we're going to continue to put our manpower, hours, and focus into.
I love to hear that, Sheriff. That's a good thing. That's a real good thing. We are as adults mandated to take care of our kids.
Absolutely.
So they are the innocents. We are supposed to protect them. So when you have people hurting them, that hits.
I got no time for those folks.
Yeah,
If I could put them under my jail, I would.
Yeah. No, I deal with a lot of them on a daily basis, and
I know you do. Yes.
No tolerance. No, I could be professional, but you got nothing for me. So last year or year before, there was a big race became a big issue, blew up. Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, it was everywhere. Our community didn't respond like the rest of the country. We actually tried to come together.
Yep.
But it affected all police departments. As a law enforcement officer, every law enforcement officer was affected by this. Every one of them. I was affected. I'm sure you were affected.
Sure.
So as the sheriff, what are some of the things that you've done kind of to communicate with that community, make it more open? Are you doing like community policing? I don't know what, that's a fancy term, but everybody does it their certain way.
Yeah, and cities do that very well and have a venue for that. It's maybe a little more difficult in a sheriff's office out in the county, but no, absolutely. We attend all different types of events, and regardless of color or anything else, it doesn't make any difference. We want to make sure that all of our citizens know we're accessible. We're here. When that whole deal started, the whole defund the police.
Yeah.
When that was really going at its strongest, you could not go into a restaurant in Ellis County as a law enforcement officer with a badge on and not have your meal paid for anonymously, and just a note saying thank you. We're not like these other cities.
That's our community.
And that's this county. That's Ellis County did that. Mm-hmm. And they did it for a long time. That's not here. That kind of activity, Antifa and all this, we haven't seen that. We're not dealing with that. There's been some Black Lives Matter rallies and different things, different parts of the county. Every one of them, and I attended several just to make sure everything was peaceful. Everybody, nobody was trying to fight anybody or cause issues or throwing. What I'm saying? I was very pleased with the way our county responded, in those instances.
Yeah, our county definitely was a model. How it should be. People were talking. They weren't just yelling or screaming or breaking stuff. They were talking to each other.
Yeah.
And that went a long way on keeping things a lot more peaceful than it has been around the country.
Yep.
So that was
we have the sheriff's office as a whole, whether it be detention or whether it be our deputies. We have black officers, white officers, Hispanic officers. It doesn't matter. We're all family, and that absolutely, I see that as very little consequence as to what color somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's not an issue. At least it's not an issue at the sheriff's office.
And that's good. Justice has to be blind in order to be effective with the community and just in general.
It's blue, or the sheriff's office, I guess you could say it's green. We just went. I just showed you. We just went to our deputies are now wearing green uniforms, and that's something new. You saw a couple of them tonight, but
it's a sharp uniform.
Yeah, well, they picked it out. So 80-something% of the department wanted that. They said, we don't want to look like a police department. We want to look like a sheriff's office. And that typically nationally, that's either tan or greens or whatever, not necessarily all blues. Most people think of all blues as police.
I think LA Sheriff uses the green ones.
Yeah.
It's definitely a mark of the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
How is your cooperation with the city departments around Ellis County?
Oh, very good. We work well with all the agencies. A lot of people don't know we dispatch for numerous smaller agencies that don't have their own dispatch center. So Red Oak and Midlothian have a dispatch center. Waxahachie has their own dispatch center. Ennis and Ferris. Just about every other agency in the county we dispatch for. So which is good because we're talking on the same radios. We're able to back each other up. We back the cities up. The cities back us up out in the county. But there's not an agency in this county that we don't have a good rapport with. And even the larger cities, we work well with them. I mean, we're working on some things right now with Waxahachie, with maybe looking at a combined gun range for the sheriff's office and for Waxahachie Police Department.
I like combined guns.
Midlothian PD, when they have their annual meetings every year, we cover the streets for them. I mean, so we work well together with every agency here. So
that's good. That really cooperation is needed. Definitely always needed. As we close the show, because I could speak to you all night, but you got
yeah, absolutely.
So as a goal, I'd like you to talk directly to the people of Ellis County. I do this with candidates. I do this with everybody visits so they could get their message out. Some of the things that you see exciting coming in the future, some of the things that you'd like to see, some of the ways that, people could stay safer in their doings. Just go ahead and speak to the people of Ellis County.
Sure. It's truly a privilege and an honor to be your sheriff. Like I said earlier, I don't view this as a job. I view this as a calling. I believe the Lord put this in my heart some years ago, and I believe, and I give Him the glory to the fact that where we are right now, the fact that I'm actually here doing this job for you. I'm excited to see some of the things as this county grows. There's good and bad things with growth. You've got to get used to that. The county leaders, our commissioners court and our county judge have been working with a group right now to look at what this county looks like in 2050. And as we're speaking right now, the next few days, there'll be a commissioners court meeting where they reveal some of the things that this company believes that we're going to need to be ready for as we continue to grow as a county, facilities wise and things like that. So that's exciting as well. But as far as you and your safety and being safe in your home, I live in Ellis County. I've lived in Ellis County since 1999. This is home. We're not going anywhere, and we want to go to work and go to church and raise our families in a community that we feel safe. And that's my commitment to you is we want things to continue to be safe, and we need your help. We need you, like I said earlier, you see something doesn't look right, call us. I'd rather have you call and let's check it out. It'd be nothing than it'd be something and you think, man, I should have called the sheriff's office. I should have called the police department, whatever the case may be. So absolutely, you play a vital role in the safety of this county, because we can't be everywhere. We can't be on every county road, in every neighborhood in this county. So we've got to rely on the good citizens of Ellis County to be our eyes and ears. So please don't hesitate to call and let us know if you see something that just doesn't look right. We'd rather you tell us.
Well, Sheriff, I appreciate you doing this interview. We've been talking about getting you on for a while, and we were able to make it happen, and I'm so grateful. There's nothing better than getting the people who are leaders in this county and the cities in this county to get on and talk to the people.
Absolutely.
There's nothing like it. It's the closeness that you get. They get to hear from the sheriff himself, not some rumors, some Facebook posts.
Right.
They hear it from you.
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. I have some more good stuff scheduled to come on. I'm gonna kind of take a little off season. Got a little runoff going in Melote, and I will cover that. But I'm gonna kind of take a little time off after this election. It's been interesting, but I do appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you soon.